Here's something that will blow your mind. You could orbit a black hole just as safely as Earth orbits the Sun. Not from a distance, right at the edge of the event horizon. You could hover there in a spaceship, and as long as you don't cross that invisible boundary, you're fine. You could even leave and come back. But that contradicts everything you've heard about black holes, right? Black holes are cosmic vacuum cleaners. They suck everything in. They're cosmic monsters that destroy everything. Except they don't. That's one of the biggest myths in space science. So what's actually happening? Why do we see matter spiraling into black holes in every image? And what actually stops things from escaping? Let's break down the physics and clear up the misconceptions. And it starts with understanding something fundamental. Gravity is gravity. If you're standing a certain distance away from a black hole, you experience the same gravitational pull you'd feel from any other object with that same mass at that same distance. Let me give you a clear example. If the Sun suddenly became a black hole right now, with the exact same mass it has today, Earth's orbit wouldn't change at all. We'd keep circling at the same distance, at the same speed and the same path. The only difference would be that the Sun's mass would be compressed into a tiny sphere instead of spread across 1.4 million kilometers. But from Earth's perspective, 150 million kilometers away, nothing changes. The gravitational force depends on mass and distance, not on what type of object is producing it. So where does the black holes suck idea come from? This is where the misconception comes from. People confuse density with gravitational reach. A black hole is incredibly dense, all its mass packed into an extremely small volume. But that density doesn't make its gravity reach farther or pull harder than a star of the same mass. What it does is create an environment where, very close to the black hole, gravity becomes so intense that even light can't escape. That boundary is the event horizon. Here's the weird part. So what actually stops things from escaping? The answer is hidden in a concept called escape velocity. And it's going to completely change how you think about black holes. Every object in space has an escape velocity, the minimum speed you need to break free of its gravitational pull. Earth's escape velocity is about 11 kilometers per second. To put that in perspective, that's roughly 25,000 miles per hour. The fastest spacecraft humans have ever built, the Parker Solar Probe, reaches speeds around 163 kilometers per second. But that's only possible because it's falling toward the Sun, not escaping Earth. The pattern is simple. More mass means higher escape velocity. The Moon has a lower escape velocity because it has less mass. Jupiter has a higher one because it's more massive. Launch a rocket at Earth's escape velocity or faster, and it breaks free. Fall below that speed and gravity pulls it back. Now here's where black holes break your intuition. Black holes have escape velocities too. The difference is that at the event horizon, the escape velocity equals the speed of light. That's the definition of the event horizon, the distance from the black hole where you'd need to travel at light speed to escape. Imagine you're in a spaceship hovering just outside a black hole's event horizon. Your engines can push you to 99.9% the speed of light. You fire them up, full throttle, and you still can't escape. That's how extreme the gravity is. But here's the critical point. Step back just 1 kilometer and suddenly your spaceship can escape. The escape velocity drops below light speed. Since nothing can travel faster than light, anything that crosses that boundary can't get back out. But outside that boundary, the escape velocity is less than the speed of light. You can escape. You can orbit. You can even slingshot past and continue on your way. The event horizon isn't a physical surface like the ground beneath your feet, or even the Sun's visible edge. It's a boundary in space defined purely by gravity. There's no wall, no barrier, no force field. It's just the point where the mass of gravity and the speed of light intersect. Imagine standing at that boundary. You can't see it. You can't touch it. There's no warning sign, no shimmer in the air. But the math says, cross this invisible line, and every direction you can travel leads inward. You can't turn around because away from the black hole is no longer a direction that exists inside the event horizon. It's not a wall that stops you. It's a mathematical point of no return. Cross it and you're done. Stay outside it and you're governed by the same orbital mechanics that keep satellites circling Earth and planets circling stars. Which means something remarkable. You can orbit a black hole just like you orbit anything else. Astronomers have tracked stars near the supermassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way. Take the star S02, for example. This star completes a full orbit around Sagittarius, our galaxy's central black hole, every 16 years. At its closest approach, It comes within about 120 astronomical units of the event horizon. That's roughly 120 times the distance from Earth to the Sun.
Study of the orbit of S2, a star orbiting Sagittarius. The highly eccentric orbit of S2 allowed astronomers to test for various effects predicted by general relativity and even extra-dimensional effects. These effects reached a maximum at the closest approach, which occurred in mid-2018.
Scientists have been tracking SRO2 since the 1990s. Think about that timeline. From the dial-up internet era to today, 30 years, thousands of observations. And through it all, this star swings within 120 times Earth's distance from the Sun of the event horizon, and every single time, it comes back out. Predictable, safe, alive. It swings close to the black hole and then back out again, year after year, following a precise elliptical orbit. That's not what a cosmic vacuum cleaner looks like. If this changes how you think about black holes, drop a comment below. What's the biggest misconception you had about them? And if you want more cosmic myth-busting like this, hit the subscribe button. But here's the thing, if black holes don't suck, why do we see matter spiraling into them in every image? That's what we're about to answer. Why doesn't matter just orbit safely forever? The answer reveals something counterintuitive about how gravity actually works at cosmic scales. When gas, dust, or debris gets close enough to a black hole and has the wrong trajectory, it doesn't fall straight in. Instead, it forms what's called an accretion disk, a swirling disk of matter that spirals inward over time. This happens because particles in the disk collide with each other, creating friction and heat. That friction causes the particles to lose orbital energy. As they lose energy, their orbits decay, and they spiral closer and closer to the event horizon. This process isn't instant. Matter can orbit in an accretion disk for years, gradually working its way inward. The friction generates temperatures of millions of degrees, hotter than the core of the sun. Matter is being torn apart, accelerated to nearly the speed of light, and glowing so intensely that we can see it from billions of light years away. That's not just pretty space photography. That's proof. When the Event Horizon Telescope captured that image of M87's black hole in 2019, what you're actually seeing is the last moments of matter before it crosses the point of no return. That bright ring? That's the violent death of stars and gas clouds happening in real time across the universe. The black hole itself appears as a dark shadow in the center, invisible but undeniably there. Think about that for a second. We're looking at the most powerful objects in the universe, and we can only see them indirectly, through the light of matter being destroyed around them. That's how we know they're real. The key factor in whether something falls in or not is trajectory. If a star or a cloud of gas passes a black hole at a safe distance with enough sideways velocity, it will either orbit the black hole or slingshot past it and continue on its way. This is exactly what happens when comets swing around the sun. They don't crash into the sun because they have enough tangential velocity to maintain their orbit or escape entirely. The same principle applies to black holes. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine a star passing near a black hole. If the star is moving fast enough and at the right angle, it will curve around the black hole due to gravity and then fly off in a new direction, completely unharmed. Astronomers have observed this exact scenario. Here's where it gets dramatic. In 2019, telescopes detected something we rarely see, a tidal disruption event. A star, potentially the size of our sun, containing the mass of billions of Earths, passed too close to a black hole and got shredded by tidal forces, the same forces that create spaghettification. Imagine gravity so extreme that it pulls harder on one side of an object than the other. The star was literally torn apart. But here's the remarkable part. The star didn't cross the event horizon. Instead, roughly half of the star's material was flung outward into space at high speed, escaping the black hole entirely, while the other half formed an accretion disk and spiraled inward. A star survived its encounter with a black hole. Partially. It's all about initial conditions, speed, angle, and distance. Now, what happens when something actually does cross the event horizon? There's no abrupt change at the boundary itself. Crossing the event horizon is simply crossing a point of no return. Once you're inside, every possible path through space leads toward the singularity at the center. You can't turn around because away from the black hole is no longer a direction that exists inside the event horizon. Now, you might think the biggest black holes are the most dangerous. That makes intuitive sense, right? More mass, stronger gravity, more danger. But here's where your intuition fails. The most dangerous black holes aren't the biggest ones. In fact, they're the smallest. Gravity is stronger on the side of an object closer to the black hole than on the far side. For smaller black holes, these tidal forces are extreme, even at the event horizon. But here's something most people don't realize. Supermassive black holes, like the ones at the centers of galaxies, have event horizons so large that tidal forces at the horizon are relatively mild. The event horizon of Sagittarius, the supermassive black hole at our galaxy's center, is about 12 million kilometers across, roughly the distance from Earth to the Sun. You could drift across that boundary without immediate danger. But a stellar mass black hole, say 10 times the Sun's mass, has an event horizon only 30 kilometers across. The tidal forces there would shred you instantly. You could cross the event horizon of a supermassive black hole and not even notice it immediately. The spaghettification would come later, closer to the singularity. So the universe's most massive objects are actually safer to approach than smaller ones. Counterintuitive? Absolutely. But that's how gravity works at extreme scales. The main point is this: proximity and trajectory matter. Matter falls in when it loses orbital energy or when it crosses the event horizon due to its trajectory. Everything else is just gravity doing what gravity does. Black holes are defined by extreme density, not by sucking power. Outside the event horizon, their gravity works exactly like any other massive object. You can safely orbit a black hole just as planets orbit stars. We spent centuries afraid of these objects, imagining them as cosmic monsters. But the reality is far more elegant. They're just gravity, extreme and beautiful, following the same rules as everything else in the universe. That's not hype, that's physics. And it's way more interesting than the myth. Thousands of viewers have already ditched the black hole myths. Join them by subscribing for weekly breakdowns of what the evidence actually tells us. No hype, just physics.